They clicked on your sales page, maybe even added it to their cart. Then nothing. The sale slipped through your fingers. But what if I told you there's a simple automated way to follow up and turn a maybe later into a heck yes? I'm talking about a simple email automation that you're probably missing, but could be what you need to boost your income and conversions.
Being an online business owner is full of ups and downs. Some days you can't imagine going back to your 9 to 5, and other days you want to burn your whole business to the ground. We get it.
Welcome to Chaos to Conversions, a podcast of practical, no BS strategies to grow your online business. Each week, we're chatting about launching, copywriting, mindset, and more, so you can make sense of the chaos and do more of what works.
Join the conversation and let's grow together.
Welcome back to Chaos to Conversions. Today we're talking about an email automation that I feel like is super underutilized in businesses. And you've probably experienced this kind of automation before, but I'm willing to bet that you don't have one currently in your business. Or you could have more. So have you ever added something to your cart and then you get an email later that's like, hey, you forgot this? Or you clicked on something in an email and you got a follow-up email saying like, I saw you peeking. These are both examples of an abandoned cart or a retargeting sequence. Essentially, you're setting up an automated email sequence to people who have shown interest in your product, service, or offer, and you're giving them another sales pitch. This retargeting email or sequence is only triggered when someone takes an action. So unlike a regular product launch sequence where everyone is getting the service pitch, you're only sending it to people who have shown interest, which means they're a much warmer audience, right? So retargeted emails are super underutilized. Like I said, honestly, they've even been underutilized in my own business. And it's something that I've recently started adding into the background of my email marketing and email platform. But the results really speak for themselves when you look at the overall statistics for these retargeting type emails. According to Hotjar, these types of emails see an average of a 39% open rate and a 23% click-through rate. The open rate there is like, okay, cool. But the click-through rate, ooh, we'd love to see that. Because again, we're talking to a much warmer audience, which means that they're already shown interest. They've already shown that this is something that they may want. And so what we're doing is we're checking in again and hoping to get them closer to making a decision on that offer. They also report that if you use more than one retargeting email, that you're more likely to see a conversion. So even if it's just 3 retargeting emails, and again, they don't have to be sent back to back or even back to back day wise, right? It could be spread out, that there's just more success with that. So let's talk about 3 areas in your business that you can use a retargeting sequence. We're going to talk about digital products, services, and then offers like memberships, courses, and workshops, and where retargeting emails can come in. Again, I'm going to be talking about retargeting, not necessarily in the abandoned cart sense. That is one way you can do it, like with digital products, but I'm talking specifically here about if someone were to click on a link inside of your email. So you send an email talking about a digital product, or you send an email talking about a service, and they click on your button or they click on a link inside that email. You have it set up on the back end where it says, hey, if someone clicks this, they get tagged as this, and it triggers this automation, right? It triggers this sequence to go out. An abandoned cart sequence, it's kind of similar in that it is retargeting a warm audience, but it's typically through an e-commerce store. So they put something in their cart and then they didn't check out with it. That's what an abandoned cart is going to be. So we're talking in a more broad sense, retargeting, but how the emails are written are very similar, which is why I'm kind of using some of that language interchangeably in the beginning of this episode. Okay, so let's dive in first to digital products. So let's say that someone clicks on your email to preview that product. They're now on the sales page for that product, but it didn't convert to a sale. Now, this can be hard to track, like the actual conversion piece, if you're sending them to a marketplace for a sale like TPT, because obviously if someone buys something on Etsy or on TPT, that's not connected to your email account or to your website. And so you're not going to be able to tag them as like this person purchased this. But if you do send them to your website, then you can tag them as someone who bought, or you send them to like maybe a Thrivecart page or a Kajabi page or whatever it may be. You can tag someone who buys and eliminate them from the retargeting emails. If they're going to a marketplace to buy, you'll just have the retargeting emails going out even though they already bought it. So you'll have to kind of decide like when it's worth attaching that automation is basically what I'm saying. You may decide if you are sending them to Etsy or TPT or Marketplace, maybe you won't do retargeting sequence because you don't want to annoy them. Maybe you'll just try it anyways and see if they care about being annoyed by that. Or you can just make sure that anytime you're sending these retargeting emails, it's whenever it's gone through another platform that you can actually track. So in your product, in your follow-up emails rather, in the retargeting emails, this is a great chance to show the product in action. So showing images, showing videos, showing what it might look like in their classroom, in their business, in their life. You can answer common questions that you get about this product. You can share testimonials and reviews and give an in-depth look inside the product. So it's kind of going back to the product in action, but like, what does this really look like for them to buy? A lot of times we get stuck making decisions on something because we're unsure or unclear about what the product is. And so the more information that someone has, the easier it might be for them to make a decision, whether it's a yes or a no. You could also use retargeting emails with your services. And this is something that I've been working on in my own business. So maybe someone clicked on, in your email to preview a services package or preview a services page. Or maybe they clicked a CTA to book a call with you, but they didn't actually end up booking that call. So especially if you are pitching higher priced services, so packages that are, more than like $30, $40, right? They're like in the hundreds, possibly even thousands of dollars. It can take a lot of time to convert people, especially nowadays. In 2025, we're seeing that these conversion timetables are definitely much longer. And so having a retargeting sequence can be a really great opportunity to just build more touch points. And make sure they have all the information that they need to make a decision. So, even if we're not, using this retargeting sequence to get them to book, we can use a retargeting sequence to get them on a discovery call, which is another great step. So in the follow-up emails for your services, you can share different objections that you get when you're sitting on a call with someone. What are the things that is causing them to hesitate or causing them to, not sign up with you? You can address some of those in those retargeting emails. You can also highlight results you've had with past clients. So whether this be testimonials, whether this be a case study, those are great things to share. You also want to show proof of transformation, right? So obviously, whenever I'm booking a service with someone, especially if it's a higher price service, I want to know that there actually is some results that you've gotten with people. And then you want to build lots of trust with this potential client. So again, making sure that you have results, making sure that you have stats behind your, offer, and the reasons why they should invest in something like this. We want to make sure that the trust is really there. Another area that you might use a retargeting sequence or retargeting email is with offers. So this can be a membership, a course, a workshop, things like that. So these retargeting emails would go to anyone who clicked to check out the sales page, but they didn't actually end up signing up for the offer. So you could do this for a paid offer, or you could also do this for a free offer. There's definitely some options there. And then these follow-up emails, you want to share like member success stories. So like, what are members doing inside of your membership, inside your course, inside your workshop? What kind of successes have you seen? Answer common questions that people have before they join. If people are reaching out to you on Instagram or they're getting on, some sort of discovery call with you to see if the course or group program is something that is a good fit for them, what are they typically asking you? And make sure you address those in the retargeting emails. You can also give them some bonuses or incentives for joining now as opposed to waiting. Okay, so let's talk about how specifically to set up a retargeting sequence. So like I said, these retargeting sequences are automated, and it's going to be something that's built into the background of your email platform. So step one is that you want to tag people based on their actions, such as clicking a link or clicking a button inside your email. So if I send an email and I'm saying, hey, I think that a welcome sequence, everyone should have a welcome sequence, and here's why. And if you're interested in checking out my welcome sequence package, here it is. And then I take everyone who's clicked that button or clicked a link where I shared my welcome sequence package and I tag them, right? Maybe I tag them as like welcome sequence interest or welcome sequence warm. Okay. Then I'm going to write 1 to 3 follow-up emails that I automate on the back end of my business. So again, these are the kinds of emails where I'm speaking to their hesitation. I'm trying to get them back in the door. I'm trying to warm them up. I'm trying to, take them from simply interested to possibly ready to make a decision or to convert. And again, not everyone's going to convert in these emails, but the hope is that we do capture some people who did show interest and actually make that conversion. So I'm going to write those emails. I'm going to put them in as an automated sequence on the back end of my platform. So now once they get tagged, kind of step 3 here is once they get tagged as having shown interest, that sequence automatically starts running. So I don't have to think about it. I don't have to reach out to these people individually on Instagram or email them individually or check in on this tag later. It's just running on the back end. I have it set up to do that inside of my account, and most email accounts will allow you to do that. Okay, so a quick recap of this episode. We're talking about an email automation that you might be missing, and it is a retargeting sequence. And what we're doing with retargeting is we're taking people who have shown interest, people who are a warmer audience, and we're saying, hey, saw you're interested in that. Let's see if I can convert this person or at least move them closer to making a decision. And so you can do this with digital products, you can do this with services or offers. And again, this is automated. So you're going to write these emails, you're going to tag people properly, set up the automations so that when someone does click inside of an email, they're automatically getting these retargeting emails. You could spend hours figuring out the perfect words and sequence, or you could pass it off to me. I will write your retargeting emails for you so that they're ready to plug into your system and run on autopilot, helping you capture leads or recapture leads and make sales without the headache of following up with people individually or hoping that you remember to retarget these people in a future email. If you're interested in my retargeting email package, you can find more details about that in the show notes.
Thanks so much for joining the conversation today. If you want to learn more about how we can work together on email marketing, launch copy, or content planning, head to therelevantcollective.com. I'll meet you back here next Tuesday for more practical strategies to take your business from chaos to conversions.